Hello and welcome to another edition of For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. Today my guests are from Home Care Solutions. Up first, it's Melissa Joseph. She's an LPN. She's in charge of quality assurance and also the business liaison for Home Care Solutions, correct?
Yes.
That's a lot to fit on a business card, but we did get it all on there.
Absolutely.
So first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
For those who aren't familiar, and I'm sure there's a few people who aren't, what is Home Care Solutions?
Well, it's QC Home Care Solutions.
QC.
Yep. We provide home care for clients, typically the geriatric population, for them to remain in their home without them having to go into an assisted living facility or a type of nursing home. We have CNAs, certified nursing assistants, companions, homemakers. We can provide transportation. We'll come in, take care of all their needs, whatever they need to have for them to remain safely at home.
The goal would be, I would imagine, I mean, assisted living is fantastic. It's great. But if possible, any person would like to stay in their own home, correct?
Correct.
Now, what would be sort of the tipping point medically or in any other case that would either allow them to stay at home or have to push them into assisted living? Where do you draw the line?
That tends to be up to their physicians or their family, but our staff as certified nursing assistants can provide any non-medical care for them while they're at home.
Okay.
Once they need to have a nursing services and they're not utilizing VNA, that's when the family or physician would make the decision to have them go into some sort of additional help in a facility or elsewise.
Now, this sort of thing, home care is very popular and gaining popularity every day because obviously, like we said, it would be the desired, choice of anything, but it's really taking off, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Christine's agency, QC Home Care, has been in business for over 10 years.
We'll meet her in a little while.
Very good. And it has been growing. And as the population, we're all living longer, and everybody is trying to hold on to all their assets and remain at home. Yes, and that's,
Is the population in general getting older?
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's certainly more of a need for services like this.
Correct, and we can personalize the services for them being at home. Where an assisted living facility or a nursing facility, they tend to have the same routine, the same tasks performed for, client A, client B, client C. Where in a home care setting, Christine will meet with them, find out what their needs are, and we can tailor our services to what their needs are.
So for every client, it's a little bit different, isn't it?
It tends to be, absolutely. Yeah. Yes.
Now, is there certain criteria that needs to be met? Obviously, it can't go too far as medical needs, like you said.
Correct.
But if the situation is right, you kind of evaluate the situation, meet with the client. Do you also meet with the client's family, other family members too?
Absolutely.
I think that's important, right?
Yes, absolutely. A large population of our clients do have some form of dementia, whether it's Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. And a lot of them under a type of conservatorship or power of attorney or the family is the one contacting us because they want to have their family member stay at home. Christine tries to meet with the entire family and meet everybody's needs as well as the clients.
When they have decided to make this decision to go with home care, it's a new venture. It's a new step in their life. Is it an emotional one? They probably have a million questions for you, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Christine personalizes her agency. She likes to meet with every single one of the clients and family members as she can and take a little bit of a history, take a little bit of a background, and again, tailor the services according to what that client's interest is, what was something important to them into the past, what their needs are non-medically. Correct.
And how long does QC Health Home Care Solutions, how long will you be with a client? Is it vary greatly depending on the client?
Yes. Yes, we tend to, I call them sometimes the acute or I call them a chronic client. We'll have clients that will just be discharged from a nursing facility. They've had something medical and they're going home and they can't quite be on their own, or they don't have family members that are not able to care for them 24/7, or their family members are working, or their children are working, and they need for our services while that family member is absent. And we'll get them back, get them to their plateaued state of where they're able to remain somewhat independent, and then we can cut down the hours if need be. Or sometimes, they're discharged.
It can be a daunting task for family members, isn't it? And if they can arrange something like this,
Yes.
It's like a great burden that's lifted off of them for
Absolutely.
a little while.
I call myself the sandwich generation.
What does that mean?
Yes, I have an older mother
Okay.
that actually utilizes home care services because I need to stay employed, to care for my family. So I do employ, CNAs and homemakers to come in and assist with my mother, while I'm working and, meet her needs. But I also still have children that I have to take care of as well. So this kind of service is helping not only the client, but helping me, because I know that my mother is receiving the best care that she can, and I'm still able to balance between. So we're the sandwich generation.
But it is a balancing act. You just described a situation where you do something where for your own mother you need those exact same services. Would it be easier if you just or you said you still need to be employed, right?
Absolutely. Plus, it's an emotional.
Absolutely.
Taking care of my mother, she can vary. It
Right.
would be a very. I couldn't come in at.
You would act very differently with your mom than you would be with a client. How about that?
To a certain extent, every client that I do see and every client that I do meet, I picture my mother, because I want them to, be cared for the same way that I would be able to care for my mother as well. But there is caregiver burnout. Families get burnt out of caring for that same family member 24/7. So we're relieving some of their stress as well.
When people when they hear home care, one of the things that pops into their head or a concern would be the cost. So how do you alleviate those concerns for people? Is that even possible? Is that something that we'll talk to the owner about?
Yes,
So, okay.
absolutely, yes.
But
yes.
you have to, people. Well, I want to do it. It seems great. Can I afford it? Those kind of things. And you would hope that they wouldn't use that as a reason to not, if possible, improve the quality of life for their family member. For you, a potential client, right? You don't want that to have to be on their mind, burdening them.
Right. And many years ago, when long-term care insurance went into effect, Christine does participate with many long-term care insurance agencies that she's able to, the client can use their long-term care insurance. Some long-term care insurance will pay for our services of home care.
Having conversations about insurance is another whole, that can be just
absolutely.
a whole show by itself, too. Is it rewarding for you, the work that you do?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you feel
Of
like you're
course.
helping people and
Absolutely.
kind of help improving the quality of their life in some way.
Absolutely. I've been a nurse for almost 25 years. I've run the gamut of all types of nursing. I spent the majority of my nursing career in long-term care facilities, in the nursing homes, in assisted living facilities. And
You like what you do better.
I do because I see that the client is getting that one-to-one attention and what their needs are, not what the facility or assisted living facilities needs are.
Right, or what they're willing to do.
Absolutely.
So home care is one aspect, but there are also other things that. Well, before we get to that, I want to talk about, because you have multiple titles. So we talked about the LPN part. How about quality assurance? What does that mean?
Well, I do not participate in the clinical role within our agency. As with the LPN, that's where I use my title for a quality assurance. I make sure that our CNAs, companions, and homemakers are meeting all the needs of the clients within what our licensing is allowing, and making sure that our clients and family members are also abiding by the contract. So we come in, I do at least evaluations in the home every 90 days. We do weekly or bi-weekly, follow-up phone calls with the clients and family members.
Just to make sure everybody's happy, right?
Everybody's happy. All their needs are being met, exactly.
Would there be a situation ever where it just might be appropriate in one client's case where maybe a change in healthcare provider might actually do both them and one of your staff some good to maybe change? Maybe there just wasn't some kind of a compatibility issue or chemistry issue. You ever do a swap? or anything like that?
As far as our caregivers
Yeah.
go, we use caregiver teams.
Okay.
We don't assign one caregiver to one client.
Okay.
We utilize 2 to 3 people. This way, there's three caregivers knowing and being familiar with that client and meeting their needs, because every caregiver brings a little bit something extra to the
Right.
table.
We're all human. We're all a little different.
Exactly, and with all their years of experience as well. And our clients can be assured that if there was ever a vacation day or an illness or anything, they will always have somebody from the agency that is familiar with this client caring for them.
And the business liaison part that kind of ties into the company and just kind of making sure everything is kind of going smoothly.
Absolutely. I assist with the marketing and such, yes.
And you are,
absolutely.
and it is smooth, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yes,
Obviously,
it has to be.
business liaison also includes going on shows like this, too.
Yes, I guess so. Yeah, right.
And there are some other aspects, sort of different business, like, for example, the undergarment part of it. Talk about the discrete undergarments.
Yep, discrete undergarment banking for you. Which we call DUB4U. They have, Christine had, being a nurse myself, I've seen the need, and Christine has seen clients that have, and has, spoken to other social services agencies and such. Discrete undergarment banking for you provides undergarments such as Depends, Poise, incontinence wear, free of charge to clients that qualify, that are of low income, that are disabled or elderly, because the cost to buy a package, it's astronomical.
You're talking about just going to the store to buy them?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
if they're going into a CVS and buying, it is a very, it would cost them about $30 to buy a package of the diapers, the briefs, which would last them for a week. And a lot of the clients that we service with this, we're a 501c3, we're a non-for-profit. A lot of our clients that we deliver to on a monthly basis are making choices of whether they can provide food on the table, the medication, or to be able to provide these briefs. A lot of our clients without these briefs can't leave their home. They have incontinence issues. They're not, able to hold their urine. It can lead to skin infection because they're utilizing other unsanitary means to try to, keep everything contained. They can become with UTIs, urinary tract infections, kidney disease, which can lead to sepsis. So, yes, we provide free of service, free of charge.
Is this a concern when you were talking about them having to choose between food and the undergarments? Is this something that you discovered along the way and said, you know what, if we got to do something about this, and there just happened to be a program available where they could possibly get the undergarments provided to them?
Christine founded.
Okay.
She founded the DUB4U, Discrete Undergarment Banking for You. Yes, Christine noticed that need and decided she wanted to do something and put together
one more thing, transportation.
Yes.
That's another aspect of what you do. Talk about that a little bit.
QC Home Care Solutions, about a year ago, we purchased a 13-passenger wheelchair accessible van, public service van, and we will pick up and transport clients if they're wheelchair bound, or if they're not, we will pick up and transport them to outings, shopping, medical appointments. We have a public service driver that will pick them up, bring them into the van, and transport them to their appointment and bring them back.
That's great.
Yes, absolutely.
It's starting to become like an all-in-one kind of a, slowly but surely. You provide more services,
Yeah, we're the solutions.
There you go. There
exactly.
you go. If people have concerns or questions, what would be some of them that they would have, maybe about what you do, home health care in general, concerns that they would have, and what would you say to alleviate some of those concerns?
The first thing that we do get a lot of questions, and we always have to clarify, we're just saying home health.
Right.
We do not provide the health care. We
right, that's a good point.
provide the home care.
You said everything non-medical, right?
Everything up to a certain point,
right.
Exactly. We don't provide the health care. VNA services would be providing the health care services, but we can provide the dressing, the what we call activities of daily living, the ambulation, the dressing, the washing, preparing them as if they were, just waking up. We get them ready for their day. We provide socialization. We provide transportation. We provide shopping. We prepare meals. Yes.
And so much of those things that you mentioned would fall through the cracks if it was just a home health care person coming in and handling the medical aspect of it.
Yes.
So somebody else would have to do it.
Absolutely. In a typical VNA situation, visiting nursing associate situation, they would be coming in with an hour to, assess the patient, the client, take care of their healthcare needs. We provide, we can start as minimum of an hour, and we provide up to 24 hours of care, whatever that client's needs are.
If somebody wants to learn more, what can they do? Is there, you have a website for
We
people
do.
to go to?
Yes, it's www.qchomecare.com, or they can reach us. We do service in Connecticut and Rhode Island at 860-383-2290.
I'm glad you mentioned that because you cover Rhode Island and Connecticut.
Correct.
You're based in Connecticut, but you cover parts of Rhode Island too?
We do.
Okay.
We do. We have some, especially
Excellent.
around the West
And
area.
what is on the website for people to see?
On our website, it has our QC Home Care Solutions. It talks about our services, a little bit of our mission statement and our history of our employees. It also has a link to our discrete undergarment bankingforyou.org site, and it also has some information about our transportation.
Great. Graphic up on the screen too. Melissa Joseph, thanks for being on the show today. We're going to take a short break and come right back. I'm Sean Murphy. This is For the Record. Stay with us. Welcome back to For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. So we are chatting with QC Home Care Solutions, the people, and we have got the owner on for this segment, Christine Baker. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Now, Melissa, you probably think Melissa answered all the questions for you, right?
Most of them, yes.
Yeah, but I mean,
I was kind of hoping.
Well, she did a great job. You got a great staff member there. But she referenced you a lot. One of the things was the sort of the mantra, your kind of mission statement. What is that?
Is one family at a time. We take care of that one family, and that's what it's all about, is making a difference one family at a time.
Right. Don't try to worry about what else is going on or maybe other clients. I mean, they'll be taken care of, but your job for this one family, for this one client, is to do all that you can, right?
Yes.
In a professional manner, and they're happy.
Yes.
How'd you decide to get into it in the first place from way back when? What brought you to where you are now?
I've always been in the medical field. I was a pre-med major, and I ran doctor's offices, and then I decided that it was time to move on. Sitting in the back deck of my house and deciding that this is what might work for me.
You had an epiphany one day,
Yes.
sitting on your back deck.
Yes, I did, absolutely.
Possibly a beverage, and you were just sitting there with the sun
There
shining.
was a beverage.
And the sun was shining on you, and you said, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go for it.
Yes.
You certainly had the background and the training for it, right? And like we talked about in the first segment, there almost seemed like there was a need for this, wasn't there? And there's a growing need, too, even today.
There absolutely is. It started with my parents. My dad, who's passed away about a year and a half now, he became ill about 10 years ago, which is when I started doing this. And I realized that people needed to stay in their homes. That's where they lasted longer. I worked in nursing homes. And not that there's not a place for nursing homes, there absolutely is. But people are more comfortable in their homes. They know where things are, families visit. It's just a level of comfort for them.
Absolutely. If at all possible, the first choice would be to be able to stay in your own home, right?
Yes.
And sometimes, not for all of them, but nursing homes, some can get sort of a bad rap or a bad reputation, depending on what's going on. And sometimes, a potential client would be hesitant about wanting to utilize those facilities.
Right. I think sometimes people, when their family members don't live in the area, for comfort level, they put them in a nursing home just for that safety measure, to make sure that they're cared for and they don't take other options into consideration.
Right. And what we were talking about in the first segment about not necessarily the client themselves, but those around them, family, friends, about the heavy burden that's on them too, and that the way that someone like you and your company kind of alleviates, just lifts that great burden off them so that they can actually be able to go on with their lives.
even with myself, I realized the last final part of my dad's life that I needed to practice what I preach to my clients. And I ended up having my caregivers coming in and caring for my dad, because at that point we needed to be his kids and laugh and cry and talk about, things that happened in the past and not be the provider of care. You get resentful. Someone's not doing enough. If you have, sisters and brothers, someone's not doing enough. Why aren't they here? And you get caregiver burnout, like Melissa had mentioned. It's just, I think, a healthier way to go down that path.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, I asked Melissa this question. I think it's better for you is like a potential client, they might be concerned about the cost. But the same thing would be if they were going to have to go into a nursing home or any other medical costs or anything like that. But even for this, how do you alleviate their concerns about that?
When someone's talking about cost, I don't pry too much into their financial information, but I do let them know of programs that are out there. There's senior resources. There's the VA. People don't know that there are monies within the VA that can pay for home care. So I really try to investigate what's available out there for people that would be coming to me. I also do, it's called an afternoon of knowledge. And there's about 9 of us that are on a forum, and we just offer information. And we go to communities in the area. We just did one last week in Wethersfield. And it's offering the information when people, before they need it, before the crisis happens, because people were calling me asking questions, and the crisis, they're in the moment of crisis, and that's not when to be making decisions.
Right, you need to be doing this way earlier when you can potentially see the situation coming over the hill you want to prepare for. Preventative, right?
Right.
And one of the things that, the ideas you came up with was the discrete undergarments thing that we talked about too. How did that come into your mind? I know the expense of it is ridiculous, and so you just developed a way where they, depending, as long as they were eligible and qualified, they wouldn't have to pay for them.
Yes. That's something that Melissa works a lot on, doing grants now that we're a nonprofit, recognized in the federal government's eyes. She does an awful lot of grant writing to get some of the monies to come in for this program to be able to support it. We started out with just a few. We actually just got a phone call the other day for someone in New York. So we reach out all over. It's not just Connecticut-based. It's all over. Right.
We talked about Rhode Island.
Yes.
Glad that you reach into Rhode Island too, and apparently New York too. So that's great to hear. It's great to that people like you are out there, and you're doing great work. And I think there's certainly a need for it. So, thank you.
You're welcome. I love what I do.
And we'll put the website up on the screen one more time. Did we want to go to another break? All right, so we'll take one more break and come right back with QC Home Care Solutions. So you stay with us. So that is our show for today. We learned a lot today. So Christine Baker, thank you for being on the show.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having us.
We'll put the website up one more time for people to go and learn more. And if they have questions, they can certainly get in touch with you, right?
Yes, they can. I am the first person they meet and talk to.
Christine Baker and Melissa Joseph, thank you both for being on the show. You can see this show, by the way, and many others on our YouTube site. I'm Sean Murphy. We will see you next time. Take care.